This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Wednesday, November 1st, 2023. I'm Kate Sharon. More than 20 years ago, University of Notre Dame officials began laying the groundwork for a transformational project that promised to extend the reach of the university's campus into a blighted neighborhood just across Angela Boulevard. The resulting $315 million project, developed across 3 mayoral administrations and 2 university presidencies, recently wrapped up its third and final phase, leading South Bend's northeast neighborhood to become one of the city's most desirable zip codes. Tim Sexton, Notre Dame Associate Vice President for Public Affairs.
I think we went through a period where, even from a community perspective, that Notre Dame was viewed as a gated off area that was not welcoming for those other than faculty, staff, and students. And we really wanted to dispel that mindset. And I think Eddy Street Commons was the perfect vehicle for us to do that.
Now, new development in the Northeast neighborhood is taking off with more single-family homes, apartments, and condos planned over the next several years as community leaders attempt to strike the right balance and revitalization without pricing out longtime residents. One of the project's biggest successes, those involved say, is not just the neighborhood's physical change, but the change in relationships between the university and South Bend. Officials in Delaware County recently wrapped up a trip to northern Italy, and the visit proved fruitful. The county says 3 Italian companies have signed memorandums of understanding to either establish or grow their operations in the county. Delaware County Commissioners President Shannon Henry and Vice President James King visited 25 firms during the trip, with the goal of making a case for doing business in East Central Indiana. The first MOU was signed with Gamma Mechanica, a manufacturer of machinery that recycles plastics. The company, which employs more than 200 at its facility in Bibbiano, Italy, plans to lease a facility in Delaware County, but is considering 2 undisclosed locations to build a new facility. The company will invest $2 million to bring its machinery to Delaware County and add 4 advanced technician jobs. Residents in the greater Lafayette area have formed a grassroots organization in opposition to a state-sponsored project that would pump as much as 100 million gallons of water per day from aquifers connected to the Wabash River to an advanced manufacturing park in Boone County. The group, Stop the Water Steal, plans to lead a letter-writing campaign to local and state officials, urging them to stop the pipeline, slow its progress, or minimize its impact on community water resources. It will also research the potential impact the pipeline might have on the Wabash Valley's water resources and advocate for, quote, more modern water rights laws in Indiana. David Sanders, a West Lafayette City Council member who previously authored a resolution in opposition to the project, said he decided to form the group after receiving 5 or 6 emails or calls a day from residents asking what they could do to stop it. From the #1 source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Get ready, Indianapolis. IBJ Media, Inside Indiana Business, and the Indiana Economic Development Corporation invite you to the annual Engage Central Indiana event. It's presented by CareSource, Indiana University, and Old National Bank. Wednesday, December 6th at the JW Marriott. We'll be diving into talent, education, and other issues shaping the Central Indiana economy. More at ibj.com/engage.
3 healthcare entities urged a Marion County judge to quash civil investigative demands from Attorney General Todd Rokita Tuesday, part of an ongoing battle over gender-affirming care. IIB's Alex Brown has more.
Marion County Judge Gary Miller said he would decide over the next 48 hours how to proceed with the request after a brief hearing Tuesday in which the plaintiff healthcare providers said Rokita's office already had relevant information in another case. Joshua Minkler, an attorney for Indiana University Health, referred to another ongoing dispute in which a handful of transgender minors challenged a state ban on gender-affirming care in federal court. He said that the extensive discovery documents in that case, overseen by U.S. District Court Judge James Patrick Hanlon, contained the information requested. But attorneys with Rokita's office disagreed, saying those documents hadn't satisfied the request, especially related to advertising materials on gender-affirming care from the plaintiffs. Rokita's office is proceeding under the Deceptive Consumer Sales Act. In March, as legislators wrestled with a proposed ban on health care for transgender youth, Rokita sent letters to several Indiana facilities demanding more information. Just 3 providers responded to Rokita's initial letter, prompting his office to pursue legal action in the form of civil investigative demands in July, the topic of Tuesday's hearing. Kim Metzger, attorney for plaintiff Eskenazi Health, said there was no such basis for an investigation in the first place, much less a civil investigative demand, but left the issue up to Miller's decision. Alex Brown, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Greenwood-based Indiana American Water is adding to its portfolio with the acquisition of the Sunset Village Water System in Charlestown. The $150,000 deal will add approximately 100 water customers in a small community along the Ohio River to the utility's customer base. The water system serves the Bushman's Lake community, which represents approximately 270 residents. Indiana American Water President Matt Prine says the deal will bring benefits to its customers. It was not clear if any jobs would be affected by the acquisition. Bedford residents will soon see a new residential multi-gigabyte capable fiber project improve their internet connectivity, Smithville announced Wednesday. The design phase has been completed and the company expects to start laying cables in late 2023 or early next year. The first phase will make high-speed internet available to about 300 homes in the 14th Street area. Homes north and west of the area may potentially be included in a later expansion. The project is part of the city's $10 million investment into rural fiber. In the region, Smithville has been building fiber networks in Bloomington, Stanford, southeast Greene County, the Indian Hills region in the Gosport area of Owen County, and western Monroe County. That amounts to about 1,000 rural homes and businesses. The American Civil Liberties Union of Indiana this week announced Christopher Daly as its next executive director. Daly will succeed Jane Henniger, who is retiring after more than a decade in the role. An Indianapolis native, Daly currently serves as executive director of the Indiana Association of Resources and Child Advocacy. The ACLU said in a news release he has spent the last 5 years traveling throughout the state to advocate for children in Indiana's foster system. FFA President Molly Ball is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Kate Sharon for Inside Indiana Business, Radio on Demand.